Aloha, my name is Jeanie Vance and I'm with Keller Williams Realty Maui, and I'm all about building community. I love to shop local, and I think it's even more important than ever now. As a business owner myself, I certainly understand the importance of exposure. So I've been having a really grand time talking to business owners around the island, getting to know them better. And even after years of living on Maui, it's just made things nicer for me. I'm enjoying myself a lot, and I'm really happy to expose you today to LaTasha Baldwin. She's with Little Details LLC. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How about you, Miss Jeanie? I call you Miss Jeanie, so.
I know, I like it. LaTasha and I are friends. I've really been excited to do this with you because it's just such good fun. It's such good fun. We're so blessed here on Maui. So I guess I want to start by asking about you, and then we'll segue into business stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me about LaTasha.
So, LaTasha, that's a loaded question. So, I'll start off with just some basics. So, I have lived on Maui, been blessed to live on Maui for 5 years now. My husband and I relocated from Colorado, and I lived in Colorado for a while. Prior to that, I've had like an interesting plight to how I got to Maui. So I was born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then I moved to Michigan, and I lived in Michigan for a while. And then I relocated a few years after college. I went to University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Go Wolverines, go blue. And so after college, I spent about 6 or 7 years remaining in Michigan. And then I moved to Colorado. And then when in Colorado, I met my husband, and later on, him and I decided to move to Maui, and I told him that I was ready to move someplace warm, and we haven't looked back, and we don't plan on going anywhere else that I'm aware of. So Maui.
How can you ever leave? I still feel so blessed every day. And I moved here decades ago. Visited the mainland recently, and it's fun to go over there, but we have something special going on here, and I want to hold on to it. That's why I'm loving getting out and supporting everyone, because we are rising again.
I know, it's exciting. Right?
Yes. It is exciting. It is exciting. So your business is called Little Details LLC. It's very sweet. Describe your business to us.
That's a great question. I would say my business is more of a family feeling. And even though we provide a service, I think the most important thing is that we listen to our clients. And so fundamentally, as a service, we provide home staging and design. But I think more than that, what I offer is basically just listening to my clients and giving them exactly what they want. But at the same time, not only just giving them what they want, but really going above and beyond and meeting their expectations. And a part of that, I think, for us, and what's worked well for me, is just being able to really listen and ask a lot of questions to get to the heart of what they're trying to do. And I think the more and more we can dial into what their needs are, the more opportunities we have to exceed their expectations.
That's beautiful. I have had been to one of your events, and I think I know what you're talking about. I think that your relationship with people and your ability to listen and empathize and communicate with them helps you to be able to create a product that's really reflective of who they are. Right?
Yes, exactly.
That's very cool. Very cool. What made you decide to open a home staging and design business?
So that's another great question. So actually, my journey to going into staging, i.e. design, actually started out of event planning. So I had been in the event and hospitality industry for over 20 years. And I had Little Details was originally branded as an event planning company. And the more and more I started getting into or doing event planning, I started getting more clients asking me to design in addition to doing planning. And lo and behold, once I moved to Maui, um, I was connected with Bev Gannon, and she had asked me and several other planners to essentially create a mini vignette. And it was the Steeple House, which is now named Maui Pineapple Chapel. And that was the launch of that venue. And it used to be owned and operated by the Ritz-Carlton in Kapalua. And so they were opening up, like I said, back then it was the Steeple House. And so she wanted to bring in some preferred vendors and kind of create these mini vignettes or mini scenes, if you will, of what a space could be. And so I was one of the planners that she asked. And that actually opened up the design for me even more, because I was able to showcase my design skills. And out of that, I had a lot of planners reaching out to me to help them specifically, not on the planning side, but specifically for design only for their clients. So that really was the catalyst, if you will, for me eventually switching completely over to design. So I no longer do event planning, and it's strictly design. And I believe that, you know, my many years of being in event planning and understanding, you know, the nuts and bolts of how to put on an event, a smooth event. And so just to kind of give you an idea, the events that I did were big. And so a couple of my clients back in Colorado were Kaiser Permanente, Denver Public Schools, and we would put on events where there would be thousands of people in attendance. So I'm used to having, you know, basically several balls juggling in the air. And so basically taking that attention to detail coupled with a natural ability to design and understand colors and schematics and shapes and patterns and how things work, and, you know, looking at homes in terms of, or even just spaces, and allowing the space to speak to you from a personality perspective. And then, you know, being able to take a design and make it work, because oftentimes you'll see designs where people will come in and maybe they want to go modern, but the space does not hold modern. And so you have to really tap into the vibe of the home or space that you're designing around. And so I think all of that foundation in event planning really helped me fine tune my creativity and also my natural skill set to design. So that's how I got it.
That's awesome. I think I'd go as far as to say, in addition to your skill set and your natural ability, we've got to add passion.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it's a three for you. Absolutely. So that's awesome. I know I've been in real estate almost 33 years, right? I so know the power of a beautifully staged home when it's being offered for sale.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You know, when you walk in and you feel rather than just look. It just makes a huge difference, because I've been blessed to work with a couple other, planners and oh my gosh, it's just really valuable. So good for you. You're an artist.
Yes, I never really looked at it that way, but yeah, I mean, you know, I really just want to make sure that when people, whether they are the homeowner and or, you know, the potential homeowner, I want them to immediately walk into a space and feel welcome. And that's one of the things that I really pride myself on in my design, is making sure from, you know, the entryway that they feel welcomed and they feel like this could work for me. So.
Awesome. So LaTasha, what would customers say that they love most about your business?
That's a good question. You're asking a lot of great questions.
Thank you.
I would say really my opening response is the fact that I listen to them. And a lot of my reviews and clients have said that it's almost like I'm in their head and I know what they're going to think and I know what they're going to expect or want. And that really is attributed to me asking a lot of questions. And I actually take the time and provide surveys or questionnaires to my clients to get a feel for who they are, in a sense of who they are as a person or people, but then also what they want the space to look like and what they're expecting the space to do for them. And I think those three pivotal things you have to understand from a designer's perspective, because, it's no
Absolutely.
point in having a beautiful home if it's not functional. And so you definitely have to make sure you add that functionality piece to a design.
Mhm. Well, all unhappiness is unmet expectation.
Mhm.
So I can only imagine that your, ability to relate to people and communicate and, the systems you've set up, it sounds like you're really able to represent them beautifully. So I just think it's great. And I just think the world of people that are so creative and have the courage to step out. It sounds like maybe a little bit of a clear path emerged as time went on, and I love it when that happens,
Oh
right?
my goodness, yeah, and it was just one of those things where, I never really pigeonhole myself, and I've never done this, thankfully, um, and I've allowed, like you said, also incorporating my passion, I've allowed that to drive me, so, I haven't dictated where I'm going. I just know that when I do make up my mind to do something, one of the things that I'm always thinking about and very conscious of is this really something that is going to meet the need of my client? And if it's not going to meet their need, and if it's not something that's in my wheelhouse, then I don't do it. And, for me, I've lived my life with 100% authenticity and being true to who I am and true to what I represent. And I think what I've been able to do, thankful to God, is I've been able to be very consistent. And kind of going back to what you mentioned, I make sure that my front end policies and procedures and my back end policy and procedures are smooth for the client, so they get the same consistency time and time again. Because there's nothing more frustrating for a client to kind of question, well, what kind of service am I going to get today? And so I just, I've been consistent over the 20 years that I've been doing from event planning to now design. And consistency is another thing that I think, clients would say about me, and loyalty, and just, really getting to know them and understanding, what they want and what they need.
That sounds wonderful. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed meeting LaTasha and that you think of her. Maybe you know someone to refer her to, or plant a little seed so that if you hear someone talking about needing some of her services, you can refer her. All the information is going to be up. I, again, am a realtor, happy to take care of you as well. We are so blessed to be on Maui. Maui is no ka'oi.
The
If any
best.
of you out there want to be interviewed, please be in touch. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Aloha.